Well, ho ho, hello there. Welcome back for another episode of Xmas AF. Basically, I want to review Christmas movies much like this one. I don't know if you've heard of this. This is called The Life and Adventures of Santa Claus. This is one of those stop motion animagic features made by Rankin Bass back in the starting in the 60s and going all the way into the 80s. And this one is 1985. If you don't know what I mean by the stop motion effects, think of stuff like The Little Drummer Boy, the original Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, The Year Without Santa Claus. Also a very good one. Santa Claus is Coming to Town. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like puppety and, it's very musical. Rankin Bass had this thing going on for their Christmas movies. This was the last one ever made by Rankin Bass. Then I think they switched to more like traditional stuff, and I don't even know what that company is today, if they're anything. But I actually kind of like this. It's weird, is all I can say. Because this is very different from your traditional, we all saw Santa Claus is Coming to Town. And it talks about how Santa Claus grew up and, he had red hair and he was voiced by Mickey Rooney or whatever. And then he grew his weird red beard and it's that's kind of looks like Santa Claus. But anyway, he eventually grew into it and he started all these traditions and things like that. This one is out of left field because this doesn't deal with that kind of history of Santa Claus. This is the alternate history of Santa Claus. And I like it. It's written by Frank L. Baum, the guy who wrote the Wizard of Oz, or the Oz books. So it goes through, the origin of Santa Claus. The secret origin of Santa Claus. Yeah, this one starts in the magical forest land or whatever, and the god of the forest, the great Ak, who I don't know, is he supposed to be God or Gandalf or Jesus or something? And I don't know, but he's pretty powerful, and he calls this council together. Comes together at the great big round table in the forest, and you get the Queen of the Fairies comes and shows up for this meeting. You get the Lord of the Wind Imps or something, and the King of the Snail People and stuff. And they all gather in the forest, and the Great Ak wants them to vote on whether they're going to make Santa Claus immortal, an immortal like them. Because Santa Claus at this point is just a human being. Now, as a baby, Santa Claus was left in the woods in the great magical forest of whatever it's called. He is found by the great Ak, and he summons the lioness Shiagra to suckle the infant. Santa Claus is raised by a lion. Didn't see that coming. The great Ak also appoints one of his fairy subordinates, I can't remember her name, to be his mother. Or she wants to grow into the role of mother. She's never seen a human child before, and it's oh my god, this is so amazing, and I want to take care of this thing, and the mothering instinct kicks into this forest spirit who's really Mother Nature anyway, or I don't know, it's pretty fantastical. But it's all good, we get a sappy song about the green-haired elf lady raising Santa Claus, and and then we get to see him grow to a young boy, and sort of like a tween, I don't know. Oh yeah, and he's got a little elf sidekick here. And this guy is annoying as shit. He's a little sound imp, is what he's called. Hence the reason why I'm wearing this elf hat here. Just because this movie has elves in it, so... but he's not like Santa's Christmas elf. No. He's a sound imp. And what he does is he's supposed to be a translator and a guide or whatever, a messenger kind of guy. And he zips around everywhere. And he speaks a billion languages. So every line of his has you get a Spanish thing in there, ¿Cómo está? You get you get a little bit of French in there. Sometimes even Chinese or German or whatever, but that's his running shtick, is that he's always speaking in all these languages, and then he makes bird sounds and mouse sounds and shit, and even roars like a bear, I think, at one point. Yeah, but his joke wears real thin, like real quick, because they beat the shit out of it. So when Santa Claus reaches that age, that, preteen age, the Great Ack takes him on an adventure and transports him all around the world to look at the state of humanity and look at what things are like all around the world and how people treat each other and all the injustices in the world. Shows them like all these like poor kids and stuff and kids that have no toys and no joy in their life and blah blah blah. And apparently Santa Claus invents the first toy, is I guess what happens a little bit later when Santa Claus grows up. Okay, so there's like these evil orc like demon things that are called the Agua, and they're tormenting the children of this particular town and making them work in the mines or something like that. And Santa Claus comes in and he wants to help these kids, like, because this is evil and it's terrible, and they're pretty scary too. At one point he's talking to one of the children, and the kid says, "Oh, I wish I had a little cat like Blinky." And Santa Claus is like, well, I can't give you Blinky, but maybe. And then he thinks, and overnight he like carves this like wooden carving of a cat. And so he creates the first toy. So Santa Claus gets into this kind of like rivalry and kind of war with these Agua, these evil guys. And like he's trying to constantly deliver toys to the children, and the Agua keeps stopping him and ambushing him and wrecking all his toys or stealing them or whatever. But Santa Claus is just determined to, keep on delivering joy and presents to the children. And but the Agua are just like, they're just pure evil, and they just want to wreck everybody's fun, I guess. Anyway, it gets to one point where Santa Claus gets captured, and the Great Ack himself actually is out of the magic forest or whatever to this whatever valley that they're in. Like, he warns the Agua that war is coming if you don't release Santa Claus and if you don't, release these children or whatever. And so the Agua are like, yeah, get out of here, buddy. Screw you. We're evil and we're not going to change. And you have no power here. And so the Great Axe like, okay, fuck you then. And he goes home and he like sharpens his axe like this, the Great Axe of whatever. And I'm sorry you have to be used in this fashion or whatever. And so he goes to battle with the big axe, and he gathers up a bunch more like fairy creatures and all the good guys and the sound imps and the snail people and shit. And they fight the Agua, and the Agua has like an army. They have like monsters on their side, and some of these monsters are really cool looking. Like you have like a flying gorilla kind of guy, and like some kind of spidery creature. I think there's a big like flying dragon snake thing. And what I noticed in this, like during this battle scene, which is actually really cool, it's like this stop motion puppet battle. I liked it, but during this battle, they're playing like some of the sound effects that the monsters make are completely ripped off from Toho Godzilla movies. Like, I can distinctly hear the dragon sounds like Rodan, and it's got that kind of, or some insect or something gives off like the Mothra call, and I can, that like that really high pitched. I can't do the sounds. But anyway, so the Great Ack defeats or chases away the Agua, and Santa Claus is rescued, and now they're left with this dilemma of, okay, the Agua are gone, but, there's still, like, unhappy children everywhere, and we've got to deliver all these toys that the Agua have stole from us and kept in this mine or whatever, and we got to get them all to all the kids all over the world, or as many kids as we can. So they rig up somebody gives them a magic sleigh. The forest master or whatever guy summons up, like, just whistles like, and like a bunch of reindeer come out of the woods, and they just like automatically line up, and they harness them and stuff, and it's like, these reindeer will fly and they will take you around the world and whatever. So that's the origin of that. It's just like a 2-second thing. Oh, reindeer, yeah, we need reindeer. Okay, here you go. Okay, you're good to go. And then they have to deliver presents all around the world. And it's like all the actual like origin part of Santa Claus is kind of thrown in there at the very end, like of how he got these traditions and how he comes down the chimney and he waits till the kids are asleep, and Like, oh yeah, we got this cool fantasy story and these cool monsters and stuff, and it's like, oh, but we need to let's put Santa Claus in it. I'm just kidding. It's a classic story. Apparently, got remade in like a traditional animation later on. I think like 2005 or something. Yeah, it was pretty interesting. It was pretty different from every other Christmas movie that I watched. And like I said, it's only really Christmassy at the very end when it's like, okay, now we got Santa Claus and here's a red jacket and everything. And yeah, but it's good. It was an enjoyable watch. I really like the monsters in here. I like the voice work. It seemed very epic, like an epic fantasy kind of thing. That just happened to be about Santa Claus nursing from a lioness. So what would I give the life and adventures of Santa Claus overall? Let's go B minus. I think it's B territory. It's a good, solid movie. Some of the songs could have been better, hence the minus. I mean, there's one that's like ha 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 and a ho 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 and a jolly old tra la la or however it goes. So yeah, the music isn't great. Could have been better. But I think the animation is done really well, and I don't remember seeing this, as a kid on TV. But as an adult, I enjoyed it, and I was quite surprised by it. Well, I have a few more Christmas movies to get to, but I'm not sure how many more I'll get to do before Christmas time, before the big day. I'm running out of time. I mean, right now, I think it's like 12 days before Christmas. The 12 days of Christmas. I just hope that everybody out there is doing well, having a good holiday season, and we will see you next time. Have a good one, everybody.